Here's a quick lesson on subject-verb agreement. First, you have to figure out what the subject of the sentence is. Is it singular or is it plural? Then the idea is to match the verb, make sure the verb of the sentence is aligned or matches with the singularity or plurality of the subject. So, for example, each of the teachers decide or decides how much time to spend on a particular subject. Now, what's the subject of the sentence? It's actually each. It's not teachers, it's each. Each of the teachers decide or decides. Now, since we know that each is a singular subject, you're talking about each one, that's singular, we need to have a verb that is also singular. So let's say you were talking about a sentence, Bob decide or decides how much time to spend on a particular subject. Bob is singular, right? So Bob decides. The singular form of this verb is decides. So the correct choice here would be each of the teachers decides how much time to spend on a particular subject. It's a little tricky, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty easy when it's Bob. Bob decide how much time to spend on a particular subject? Well, that doesn't sound right. Bob decides. One Bob, and then we use the singular decide, singular form of the verb. Let's go on to the next example. Neither of the boys was or were looking forward to the camping trip. So is neither, well, first of all, let's establish that neither is the subject. It's not boys, it's neither. Neither of the boys. So when you're talking about a neither, are you talking about both boys or one boy at a time? You're talking about one, neither of the boys. So it's singular. Neither of the boys was or were looking forward to the camping trip. So if it's singular, if this was Bob again, Bob was or were looking forward to the camping trip. You wouldn't say Bob were looking forward. That'd mean there were two Bobs or something like that. Bob was plural. Bob's not plural, Bob's singular. So it would be Bob was looking forward to the camping trip. Well, just like Bob is singular, neither is singular. Neither of the boys was looking forward to the camping trip. See where we're going with this? You got to figure out if the subject is singular. First of all, what is the subject of the sentence, which is not always so clear here. And then you figure out if the subject is singular or plural, and then you make sure you choose the corresponding form of the verb. Last example. This one's a little easier. Both of the boys was or were looking forward to the camping trip. So we got to figure out the subject, and you should know by now it's not boys, it's both. Both is actually the subject of that sentence. Both of the boys. And both, we know, is plural, right? You can't have one both. It's two people. If we say both of us, it's at least two people. Well, it is two people. So both is plural. So that means we need to choose the plural form of the verb, which of course is were. Both of the boys were looking forward to the trip. So in other words, if you could say Ted and Andy were looking forward to the trip, Ted and Andy, meaning both of the boys, were. You wouldn't say Ted and Andy was looking forward to the camping trip. Both of them are. It's plural. So we choose were. Hopefully this makes sense. Additional practice is available on Purdue's online writing lab website, and you'll get it. You'll get it. You do have to pay attention to subject-verb agreement. They have to align.